Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, a place where dreams take flight, with authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives and meaningful conversations, where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV. Download our app, USA Global TV. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. Thanks to our founder and executive producer, Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Music score by Yeffy Tang from Cloud Road Music. Voiceover artist Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. USA Global TV and Radio, your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited.
Welcome to our viewers from around the world. Today on The Voice of Healing, the topic is, what is a holistic nurse? What are our purpose compared to medical nurses? Hello and welcome to this episode of The Voice of Healing, where we provide high-class education for all our viewers. We also encourage our followers to have access to free content that will help them in their journey on Earth. This episode is very interesting because you will understand the difference between holistic nurses and medical nurses. We are viewed on USA Global TV on YouTube, so please subscribe. And I also invite you to subscribe to the channel Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck also. She is the owner of the USA Global TV radio channel on YouTube. So I introduce myself. I am Reverend Lydia Fougères. I am a reverend in metaphysics and known author for my books on 111 Reflection for Thy Earth Odyssey, available on Amazon. I am also a spiritual teacher who works on personal transformation, introspection, mindfulness, and sacred connection through my programs. You can contact me to register to my programs to have an exciting journey on Earth, to understand what you are about. I am a registered nurse. And I also have a degree in holistic nursing. So I will explain what it is the difference between a holistic nurse and a medical nurse. So first of all, you will have to know that a holistic nurse has to be a medical nurse to start with. Some people improvise themselves holistic nurses, and that is fine because they get knowledge of natural therapy, and that is fine. They do not have the degree though, but a person that actually works as a nurse and helps in a holistic way is not necessarily a holistic nurse, but she helps as much as a holistic nurse. So we will understand that it is not because a nurse, did not go through the curriculum of a holistic nurse that they cannot do the work. It all depends on how they see their work as a medical nurse. So the difference that makes the heart beat as a holistic nurse is that we care for the body, but the body is nothing without the mind, the community, and the breath that animates it. So we see the person as a whole. So when we actually go and see a patient, we do not see the patient as vitals, as a surgery, as a body. we see a patient as a whole that has a circuit around, that actually has a family, a work, goes to work, has children of their own or not, it depends. They have a life, and we care for what is going on with their life, because it is often the fact that their surrounding, there is something that does not go well, that actually they are ill, because everything goes from cause to effect. So we try to find the problem that brought them to be at the hospital to start with, because illness actually comes from the heart, because it's suffering, it is a lot of suffering, it is anger, it is a lot of things that have been accumulated that actually the person has to understand. They have to walk through this process. So by walking through this process with a holistic nurse, they will understand and they will get better a lot faster. So let us see a holistic nurse walks in a room, and there is a person, we will call her Debbie. So let us say Debbie is holding something, and the holistic nurse walks in. She is out of surgery, Debbie is out of surgery, and we walk in. So a holistic nurse will ask her, Debbie, how are you feeling? And we will add, I would like to know how you are feeling in your body, but in your mind also. I would like to know how you are feeling in your heart. I see you are holding something. Is it something that actually is really important to you? Is it something that will help you be better? If so, can you explain that object to me? And so on and so forth. So what we do is that we get into the process of understanding the surrounding of our patient. Let us say, Debbie, it is a picture of her son. Let us say, it is a picture of her son. Well, we will make her talk about her son, her environment, her family, everything, while we are still checking on her vitals. We are doing the bandage. We are doing everything that has to do with the medical world. So we are medical nurses to start with, but at the same time, we go beyond that work. We just do not walk in a room, change the bandage on the wound, and then give the pill and walk out. That is not what a holistic nurse does. A holistic nurse goes beyond that task. So we will actually understand that a holistic nurse is, well, first of all, the word holistic means whole. So we look at the person as a whole. So we cannot see a person only as a body if we see the person as a whole. So that is the way it is. So a traditional nurse will actually have as main objective to stabilize physiological functions. That is what a nurse will do. But a holistic nurse will actually go beyond that. She will promote overall balance, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. She will do also all assessment, no problem, but at the same time, she will go beyond the assessment. So when you have a traditional nurse, the traditional nurse will take the vitals. She will read the laboratory tests, the clinical observations. She will note that, and she will not necessarily share anything with the patient. She will not discuss what the patient understands. But a holistic nurse will take everything. She will take the vitals, but she will also go into the life history of the person, the beliefs, the environment, the support network. She will want to know what is it that will happen to that person after they are out of the hospital. What led her to be to the hospital? What is it that we could help her not come back again? So that is it. So when we are a traditional nurse, we give the medication, the dressings, the protocol. When we are a holistic nurse, we give them the medication naturally. We give, but we add gentle techniques. We can talk with guided imagery while we are doing things to make sure that our patient is not scared while we are doing the dressing. Let us imagine the person is scared while we are doing the dressing. We can walk them in a guided imagery while they are there waiting while we are finishing the dressing. So we can actually talk slowly, let them imagine they are somewhere else and do it that way. So we take the same time, but the thing is that we use our time differently. This is the way we do. We actually care for their spiritual support also. I am a reverend because I actually, not only as a medical nurse, the spiritual part of my patient is important to me. So that is why I became a reverend also, because everything is important to me. That is why I became a holistic nurse. That is why I did all that journey to be able to see the person as a whole. I was interested. But as I tell you, some nurses work as well as holistic nurses without having the degree. It is not necessary to have a degree to have a heart. This is the way it is. So if a person acts like a holistic nurse, you do not necessarily ask them, do you have a holistic degree? Because holistic degrees are rare. You do not see that very often. But good nurses, you see a lot of that. Absolutely a lot. So when we actually are a medical nurse, we will necessarily work with the relationship between us and the patient. But we will be task oriented. But if we are a holistic nurse, it will be based on active listening, co-creating a care plan to actually work with the patient. Active listening is extremely important when we are with a patient because the patient is anxious. We have to be 100% in the present with them. We cannot be somewhere else. We actually have to be with them 100%. So we do not think about our grocery list. We are with our patient. This takes practice, but it is feasible. So when we are a traditional nurse, we have our training in biomedical science, standard protocols. When we are a holistic nurse, we have a biomedical and science training, but we also have courses in psychology, herbal medicine. We choose whatever we want. Complementary medicine, nonviolent communication. We work and we actually learn those techniques. We learn to work with techniques that actually will calm our patients. We are in the now with our patients at all times. The difference is that the holistic nurse adds alternative practices. It is primarily a philosophy that places the patient at the center of the process, not the illness. So we actually look at the patient at the center of the illness, not the illness at the center of the body. So that is the way we see things. Holistic nurses see it that way. So we are different in that way. We actually see things differently. So, as I was saying, when we are holistic nurses, we use techniques like active listening, paraphrasing, mindful silence. So we allow the person to speak about what is troubling them, their family, conflicts, fear of the future, recurring dreams. Each word becomes an indicator of an imbalance to be explored. Because if they are ill, things are not well in their life. We want to know what is going on. We want to know what is that center of this body, that heart. Instead of looking at what is the illness, we look at what caused the illness. So this is many times it is a thought that is triggered over and over and over again. You have families where there's a history of whatever, and they will repeat that history because the family repeats that history. They always say things like, in our family, we have liver problems. So we have liver problems in our family, and then someone couldn't be without liver problems. And because it is repeated so much, they actually start having liver problems. It is not that it was supposed to be. It is that it is so repeated that actually it becomes a problem. When you ask something to the universe delivers. That is what happens. So the universe delivers what you say. When you actually ignore something, that a disease, let us say, that is running in the family, if you ignore completely, if you actually say, I am not going to go through that over and over and over again, I am fine, and this is the end of it. I do not want to hear about it. The thing is that, you can, but do not omit to have the test. That is the important thing, because I'm a medical nurse after all. So you have the testing, but do not keep nurturing this thought that you could have the disease. That is very important. So when it comes to mind-body care, we use methods such as therapeutic touch, mindful breathing, music therapy, and we use that post-surgery. When we administer medication, we actually do those methods. Aromatherapy works very well. If you actually put an aroma of orange, this will calm the brain. This will ease the pain also. So we realize that people that actually are in an environment where it smells the orange, actually take less medication for pain. This is something that does happen. So we try to prevent stress, reduce anxiety, and we accelerate healing. So as a holistic nurse, I chose guided imagery. I chose Reiki. Well, we all know Reiki to start with. All holistic nurses know Reiki. This is a must. We actually know Reiki. We choose between therapeutic touch, whatever alternative we decide. Some use massage. I do not. Some aromatherapy. I did aromatherapy courses. So we work with sound also. I actually play crystal bowls, but not in a hospital environment. This is not to do. But the thing is that crystal bowls actually help to heal. So they actually balance the chakras. We actually work with balancing the chakras also. Even if we do not say we do that, we are doing that. So the true magic of a nurse is not only what she does with her hands, but what those hands see. So I always say it is not because I do not see it that it is not there. So sometimes a person can be extremely anxious and look calm. You have those people that are so poker face that actually they are absolutely nervous, and you will actually have a lot of problem getting them to talk to you. So active listening is important. You have to give them space. You stay with them, but you do not talk. You just wait. Even if you have to go 2, 3, 4 times. You go in, you do your things, you're a smiling person, and you are an invitation to actually talk, because they perceive a person that actually wants to listen and does not want to judge. That is the way they perceive you. So that is when they open up and they talk about their problems. So that is the way you have to be when you are a holistic nurse. You have to be in the present moment, and you have to be ready to hear absolutely everything and without judgment. I heard many, many things that if I had judgment, I would be very surprised. But the thing is that when a person talks to you and you're without judgment, even if it is something that usually is very difficult to hear for you, and you overcome that problem that you have because they trust you enough to deliver a message to you. So you have to be honored with the fact that actually they trust you enough to deliver the message. It is not you that has to interrupt and say, I do not want to hear about that. That is the way it has to be. So you can do guided meditations, as I said, when you are taking care of your client. You can do guided meditation also. This is really important. So you have to create a structure that is calm. So you have to help them with breathing exercise. So you can ask them for visualization exercises, and then to return to full awareness. So you guide them to visualize something dear to them that comforts them, then you bring them to awareness of their surrounding, but in an environment that actually they are seeing the progress that they are going through. So you create a safe and secure environment because your body responds more smoothly to relaxation signals than extreme stress. This is normal. So when you actually are a holistic nurse, you make sure that your patient feels safe. So if your patient is scared of something, you try to make sure that what they think is dangerous is out of the way. That is the thing. So with a holistic nurse, you can have a gateway to the imagination, because the thing is that it is with guided imagery that you can help. So you weave images, forests, a forest, a gentle fire, a, a, a starry sky, and you awaken their senses and allow for the release of emotions. And by releasing these emotions, actually, they release the stress. This also relieves the pain. So you can also make them visualize a landscape for 2 minutes while you are doing your chores. So you can do that also. So this is really important. I want to tell you about a patient of mine. This is something that really happened. I was 25 years old, and I was assistant head nurse in neurosurgery. And being young, I wanted to try everything. We had a patient that was really, really difficult, and his name was Richard. We had a very difficult patient. He had a terrible crash, a car accident, and he was quadriplegic. So we are talking about someone that was supposed not to walk, not to use his hands anymore. So he was mean to the nurses, and the nurses were coming back to the office and telling me, I hate Richard. Richard is hard to work with. I do not like him. I do not want to go back to his room, so on and so forth. So I decided to go visit Richard, to go see what was the problem with Richard. So to start with, he started swearing at me, which was not a good idea. So I told him, I said, Richard, my parents never swore at me. So would you please stop cursing? Because I am here to see what is your problem. I am here to listen to what is going on. So I will sit. If you stop cursing, I will sit and I will listen to what is your problem. I am taking time for this. So I realized, without him saying, that he was scared of the dark. He was scared of dying because he was paralyzed from head to toe. So that being said, I decided that I would work in Richard's bedroom, in his room at the hospital. So I moved all my office work every night in his room, and I had a light on, and I was doing my work as assistant head nurse, and I was taking care of looking if Richard felt safe. So he could fall asleep without a problem, and he was not scared anymore of falling asleep because I was there all the time. But then I decided that he could go further in his recovery. So I decided to ask him if he knew a certain park where I used to walk. And he told me that yes, he used to walk there also. So I started doing a guided imagery with him every single night for 30 minutes. And that 30 minutes was really special because I would tell him that we were walking and I would describe a walk through the park with him using his hands, with him using his legs, with him kicking rocks, so on and so forth, and running, things like that. I would actually do that. So Richard, after 4 months, could move his hands. And after 8 months, his legs were working. So he got out of the hospital after a year. Yes, he had crutches. Yes, he had crutches. But the thing is that he was walking, and his wife was absolutely delirious about it. She was so happy. So Richard is a miracle of what the body can do to heal itself when the body is loved and taken care of. That is the way it is. So when you are a holistic nurse, this is a plus that you have and you make sure you have. So you use a method to help a person with difficulties through alternative methods. So with alternative methods, I actually work with programs with people with my books. I actually wrote books. They are called 111 Reflections for Thy Earth Odyssey. So those books are reflections. They are 111 per book. I do programs from those reflections. And what I do is that I help people and I guide them through their life, through their journey, through their difficulties, because we are all on a spiritual journey. And I bring people to understand why they are here and what is the problem. They actually talk to me, and I also do one-on-one sessions also. I am also an intuitive healer, so I work in English and French. So people can join me at 1-514-582-6882, and I will do one-on-one sessions with them. I will be very happy to do one-on-one sessions with them. This is very enlightening to actually work with a person one-on-one. I am country manager for USA Global TV and radio for Canada and French countries also. So if you want to be either a guest or host your show, I invite you to join me and I will help for you to realize your dream. This is really important for you to realize your dream. You will be in touch with Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. She is the one that actually created that channel, and she also has her own channel. She is an active listener. She is a doctor that is amazing. So I do ask you to subscribe to her channel and to our channel. So we also have the Miracle Miss, which I have also on Etsy. The Miracle Miss is created to clear spaces. I created that with the help of the divine source because I go in trance and I get messages from the divine source. So it is on Etsy, and that is what I do. I actually have the Perfect Mate incense, and the Perfect Mate incense is actually an incense that I created for you to help you find actually a mate that will be perfect for you. I found the right person, but without the incense. And it seems that many have had great results with the perfect mate incense. So if you are interested, I am listed on Etsy for the perfect mate incense and the miracle mist, which is a patent pending in the United States. So I will see you in 2 weeks in English. Next week, I will see you in French. So it has been a pleasure to have you, and I hope that you understand a little more what is a holistic nurse, what is a medical nurse, a traditional nurse, and that no matter if a traditional nurse has the degree in holistic nursing, if she is a holistic nurse, she does not need the degree. She is love. So a nurse that is love does not need the degree. We have the degree because we want to do it, but they are as good as us. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching. Namaste.
In a quiet seaside town in Greece, where sunlight warms the stone paths and the sea whispers nearby, a new adventure begins. Lady Ella and her brother Lord Jack have arrived with an important mission: to teach kindness, patience, and the power of listening. In a hidden alley, a group of forgotten cats feel unseen and unheard, lost in silence and growing misunderstandings, until someone finally takes the time to truly listen. Because when we listen from the heart, loneliness softens, kindness grows, and new friendships begin. This is Book 10 of The Amazing Adventures of Lady Ella, the Listening Mentor book series. Find all Dr. Kerbeck's books on Amazon and in fine bookstores worldwide.
USA Global TV and Radio proudly presents Tracy Cram Perkins, a dementia caregiving survivor teaching how to balance care with peace of mind. #1 resource for dementia caregivers. It's the book Dementia Home Care: How to Prepare Before, During, and After. Over 17,000 copies sold of this must-have guide. And now a testimonial from Tracy Smith.
If I was to describe this book to someone who is going through a similar situation, I would underscore how important it is to have some sort of a tool or a guidebook to help you through certain stages. And there's so many, it's such an unknown topic to the average person. And to have this as a reference is essential. It's going to help you get through it personally, as well as help your loved one manage.
To learn more, go to tracycramperkins.com. Tracy Cram Perkins is an award-winning author. She's also the host of Dementia Home Care television show. Watch it here on USA Global TV and Radio.
Thank you, viewers and listeners of USA Global TV and Radio, for joining us today. We're honoured to have your time and attention as part of our global community. At USA Global TV and Radio, we believe in the power of authentic conversations, meaningful connections, and creating a world of possibilities together. Want to be part of something bigger? Join our team of elevated listeners at usaglobaltv.com, a space where your voice matters and your ability to listen transforms relationships. Stay connected with us across all our platforms for thought-provoking discussions, expert insights, and empowering stories. Subscribe to our channels at youtube.com/c/USA Global TV. Follow us on social media and explore the endless opportunities we're creating for growth, learning, and inspiration. Together, we're not just broadcasting, we're building bridges and changing lives one conversation at a time. For inquiries, contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com. Produced by Executive Producer and Director Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Voiceover by Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. All rights reserved. Visit usaglobaltv.com to view our full terms and conditions.